I was completely off base there. I can't believe I did that. But okay, everything looks good. Levels look good. So yeah, we're already started streaming. So I thought your conversation was getting so animated that I should start streaming in the middle of it. So we did. Okay. Let's hop into screen or stream, whatever it is. Let's hop in. Hey. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stalwart Initiative. I'm Kyle. And today we're going to touch base with some more Starfinder content. I'm here with Don and Thomas today, and we're going to go over building starships for Starfinder. And all this can be found in the Starfinder core rulebook. And this is not a professional review or a efficient step-by-step tutorial. This is a discussion, and as we grow and try to grow and learn on the Starfinder system, complex system, really fun to play, but so much to learn. So, figure let's record this, and hopefully you learn some things, and we will continue to fine tune this because we haven't built that many starships either. So, yeah, let's get into it. Click over to the PDF here. Okay, so building starships is fun. It's you can do it as a group, or if you only have one or two players, which I mean, typically you want more players, especially for Starship combat, because each party member in your Starfinder campaign will have different roles. So there's a captain, there's an engineer, there's a science officer. You know, there are different roles for each person to do, and so therefore you want more people, so you don't have a bunch of NPCs picking up the slack. But you know, if you only have one or two people playing, that's okay. So we're gonna go over. There's bare bones. There's 7 steps to creating a starship, and we're gonna go over those 7 steps. Obviously, there's gonna be more to touch on, and we're not going to go into great detail about any one particular thing. But yeah, we do want to do a review for our sake, and if anybody else learns anything, that's fantastic. I hope so. So the first section under here is understanding starships, and it does a pretty good explanation of going over name and tier. So you get to name your starship and decide what tier of starship you're going to play, and this is between you and your GM, and it's based off your character level usually, and it'll dictate how many points you have to spend in building the starship. Size, category, and frame. It's going to show you how big. I'm not going to go down through all these. We will touch on a lot, most, or all of these little explanations as we go through. So you'll see armor class and drift and all this jazz. So we will touch on that as we go. So let's go down to the next page, and it'll start off with building a starship. So I'll read this little section here. Regardless of a starship's size and purpose, they're all created using the same process. GMs and players alike can use the following steps to create an incredibly diverse array of vessels, from sleek science ships and nimble skirmishers to heavily armored combat frigates. Alternatively, you can use the pre-built sample starships detailed later in this chapter, page 3 or 5. While it's possible to run a Starfinder game that doesn't involve starships at all, the Starfinder RPG assumes that PCs have access to a starship. Whether it was built from scrap, received from a generous benefactor, or purchased with an exorbitant loan, the PC starship serves as a mobile base of operations, a means of reaching distant stars, and defense against hostile alien vessels. Often, the PC's first starship is designed by the GM and can be upgraded and even replaced as the characters gain experience. However, some GMs might allow the PCs free reign over the starship's creation, letting them feel a sense of true ownership over the starship that will accompany them throughout the campaign. Either way, Starship's power level is based on the PC's average. Yeah, this PDF is not great for jumping around. Average party level, APL, the character's average character level. See refitting and upgrading starships on page 305 for information on how to adjust a starship's capabilities when the character's APL changes. So when creating a starship, when creating a starship, follow these steps. So now we're going to go through the 7-step process in creating a starship, and we're going to have Dawn and Thomas. We're going to have them create a starship. For maybe we'll just save this. We're going to do some one shots after we're done with our D&D 5e campaign that we're currently running. We're going to do a very short series of one shots of Starfinder before we get into any kind of lengthy Starfinder campaign. So maybe we'll have them create this small starship to be used in one or all of those one shots. So we're going to have their character level and their tier of starship be 3, and they will have build points accordingly. So step 1, we conceptualize. So starting by deciphering what type of starship you're designing with a general idea of its purpose and required crew size. If you are creating a starship to be used by PCs, make sure that all the PCs can fit within the vessel. Some of the choices you make later might depend on your overall concept. So let's conceptualize this starship. So Thomas and Dawn, you are given a tier 3 starship, and you have 95 build points. So we're going to scroll up here to this table, and right here is the starship base statistics. And right here is where you're going to find tier 3 is based on their level, and that's how many build points, which is like the total amount of money or points they're able to spend on different parts for the ship. So conceptualize. Guys, what would you like to do with what kind of starship would you like to build, and let's say for general adventuring purposes?
I guess that the concept for the ship should be would be, I'm sorry, based on type of characters that would be residing within. Um, if we're a group of smugglers, then we're gonna have smuggling compartments, things like the smuggling ship. If we're military, it's gonna be more of a combat ready, let's fuck shit up type ship. And if it's like a diplomatic bullshit ship, it would be more. I would assume it'd be like something a little bit more lavish, a little bit more fancy and less weaponized. But
let's say for the purposes of this, we are just maybe like a small mercenary group taking jobs as they come, and we just need a ship to get us places, handle our stuff while we're on the move, and maybe some small spaceship or like outer space combat if necessary. But I wouldn't lean towards either full military or something like that just yet.
Okay, but you're saying
What's that?
But you're saying mercenaries is the concept of the characters.
Yeah,
And
like
build a ship around that.
not necessarily like people running around doing bad things for bad people, but just paying jobs and going from system to system, getting work.
Okay, and we're making this for a crew of 4, correct?
Yeah, I would say at least 4. Yeah, because you
Well,
set this up as though you guys are going to run maybe 5, maybe you want to do 5, a 4 to 5 person one shot.
okay.
Yeah, I like either the light freighter or the explorer class. They have maximum crew of 6 and 5 respectively.
Well, I was actually thinking, my one second.
Okay.
I was actually thinking, a shuttle. We go for the 4. That would give us a smaller ship, better maneuverability, better turning radius, and typically they're faster.
True. Only one weapon mount on it though.
Well, to be fair, it's I guess you're right.
Well, if we're leaning towards like not standing and fighting, if we are a like if something comes at us, we run type of crew, then a shuttle would be better for that. Better maneuverability. We have more points to spend on getting away faster.
Yeah, but then there's the whole critical threshold is smaller on a smaller vessel. I didn't think about that.
Okay, maybe we should skip ahead here a little bit because the conceptualize is basically just what you want to do. It's kind of a, okay, we're going to be smugglers, so we need to make a smuggler ship. Okay, we're going to be adventurers, we need to make an adventure ship because step 2 is, and this might help you guys speed things up for yourselves. Step 2 is determining the tier and build points. So you guys already know that it's going to be a tier 3 ship based on your level, and you're going to get 95 build points, which is how you're coming to decide what kind of ship you want. So that step 1 and 2 are very, very, at least for these guys, a very swift process. So conceptualize. All right, well, it's kind of all mixing together. All right, what do we want to do? Well, what do we want to do automatically pushes us towards what kind of frame you want to pick, and which is what they're discussing now. So we'll go to step 3 immediately because it's step 1 and 2 are that quick. So step 3 is selecting a frame. Each starship is built upon one of a variety of frames that determines its size, maneuverability, crew complement, weapon mounts, and other basic statistics. Each frame costs a certain number of build points, and see basic frame below for more information. So this is what Dawn and Thomas are going over right now, and I'm not going to read the whole base frame blurb, but they're going over these different types of frames here: racer, interceptor, transport, fighter, and they're deciding what they want to use based on how many points they have and what they want to accomplish. So Dawn, you said that the shuttle, you had the idea of the shuttle might be good. And Thomas, what were you leaning towards?
I was looking at either the light freighter, which is a small size, or the explorer, which bumps it up to a medium size. Just because I'd like to be capable if we get into a scrap, and both of those have much more gun mounts, HP, critical threshold, all that kind of thing.
Okay, so the shuttle, small size, maneuverability is perfect, and let's see here, hull points 35, your increments 5, and damage threshold doesn't have one because that's, I think it's, what is it, Dawn? Huge or larger vessels have the damage threshold. That doesn't even come into play until later on, right?
Yeah, just looking at the stats, it starts when they get to huge size.
Okay. Yeah, and then the critical threshold is 7. Okay, so so basically the shuttle, like Dawn said, the shuttle's very maneuverable, but it doesn't have as many weapon mounts. So, kind of based on what you guys want.
More seating.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, you guys can continue your discussion from what you want to do.
Don, how important do you think it is, like, size-wise, small versus medium?
Well, considering the only small shuttle that actually has the really, really outstanding maneuverability is the shuttle. I believe
the light freighter is small. Its maneuverability is still good.
Yes, but at the same point, the explorer's maneuverability is good as well. And that's a medium.
Yes. It costs a little bit more, but if you want to start out with a lot more HP and more gun options, more expansion bays for, while traveling, doing our mechanic or whatever else bullshit.
I personally think if you're even considering the light freighter, that you should just go with the explorer. More gun mounts, more HP, the same maneuverability.
Yeah, the only real bonuses to the light freighter are one more maximum crew option, and it costs a little bit less. But it's a size small, so depending on how we want to outfit it later with power cores and other things that are restricted by ship size, we might need to jump up one if we plan on getting something better than the regular small stuff.
So that's why I'm saying the Explorer would probably be better. For 2 more points, you get, like I said, more hit points, more damage threshold, more weapon mounts, an extra expansion bay, and an extra crew member spot for 2 points.
Okay, Kyle, we're gonna go Explorer.
Okay, so the Explorer, which is very hard to show on the PDF because it's split. So the Explorer is down here.
Fuck you guys reading on Twitch.
Yeah. No, there's no love for showing this stuff, especially what's going through this PDF is horrible. Okay, so up here is the stats for the Explorer, though the title and size, which is medium, are down at the bottom of the previous part of this page. So maneuverability of it is good, which means you get a +1 bonus to your piloting, and it has a turn radius of 1. So you guys want to go with the Explorer, which is the first medium-sized ship available. So, okay. So we're going to go with Explorer. You have your mounts. So you have a forward arc mount, 1 light forward arc mount, 1 port mount, light port arc mount, 1 starboard arc, light starboard arc mount, and 1 turret. Okay, 4 expansion bays. Minimum crew of 1, maximum crew of 6. That'll work out well for you in case somebody needs to hop along and you have 5 people. Good. Okay. So
I think it's a 5.
it says maximum crew of 6.
Or at least, I don't know, my PDF's a little fuzzy. I thought it was a 5.
Well,
6
the
is
small freighters are 5. And
Yeah, I
the
know.
Explorer is a 6.
Okay. So cost of 12. So there goes 12 of your build points. So you were at 95. Now you are at 83 build points left. So with that, let's scroll. Wait, not scroll. That's page down. Let's go page up. And let's see. So we've done step 3. We've selected the frame. Let's move on to step 4. Select a power core. A starship's power core determines its overall power available, listed in the power core units, or PCU for power core units. So you should spend build points on it first. See page 296, which we will. This amount of power can be used as a kind of budget when installing other systems, such as thrusters and weapons. See power budget on 296 as well for more suggestions. So let's scroll on down past, there we go, past the frames to, well, there's a power budget. We're not going to go over the blurb, but here are a list of the power cores. Let's see here. Let's make sure we don't miss anything at the bottom of this page. Oh, here's a description on the power cores. Basically, your battery. So, so here's a list of the power cores, starting with Micron Light, going the whole way to Gateway Ultra, and it gives their size and stuff. And their size is also based off of the same as the creature size: tiny, small, medium, large. Was it huge?
Huge, gargantuan, colossal.
Yes, thank you. And so the size of the power core is accordingly, and PCUs is its output. And then we have our, over on the right of this table, we have our build points, what it costs in build points. So, guys, you have the Explorer class vessel, Explorer class starship. What would you like to go for as far as your core?
That is a good question, Kyle. I'm thinking Pulse Blue, but
You want to
I'm
go
not
straight
really
to
making
the
this
top?
thing. That's not the top. That's
Well,
almost
the top
smack
of
dab in the
the,
middle.
of the TSM section. But yeah, we could go higher than that. But Pulse Blue, that's pretty good. Yeah.
I was just thinking that
I'm okay with Pulse Blue.
I was just thinking that if we're going in order of the steps, we're not going to know how much energy we actually need, and 200 is a fair amount of energy to be able to divvy up between different systems.
Yeah, it does say the power core is the most important system on the ship, so yeah, we should definitely be capable.
And like I said,
I'm okay with Pulse Blue.
normally how I would do this is I would go through and look at all the other systems and try to make the power core fit the other systems that I wanted.
Okay.
But since we're actually going in order of steps,
Well, we can go back and change it if we run up on we have too much power, not enough units. We can just jump back, pick a different one.
all right, we can do that. But for now, I say the Pulse Blue.
Pulse Blue. Okay. So you were at 83 build points, and
63.
getting the Pulse Blue would bring you down 20 points to 63. You now have 200 PCU to play with. Yeah, you're right. It's not always the easiest, especially once you get accustomed to a system, to go step by step like this. We're going to do this for simplicity's sake and for the stream, but we will come back to this when we're a little more fluid with the Starship building process and show you whatever way we become comfortable with. So, okay. So
The next step is to select thrusters.
yes. So let's
So Thomas,
let me hop back up here so I can
Yes.
read this off the steps.
how are you feeling about thrusters? Do you want more speed or more piloting modifier?
Okay.
Okay. The piloting modifier affects how many different things on the ship. It affects no, that's pilot ranks. Never mind. So
Piloting modifier affects the pilot, the person actually piloting. It adds to their piloting role.
so they would roll, add their pilot ranks, and then add a pilot modifier on top of that.
Yes. And as you can see, the lower the speed, the higher the modifier. To a plus 2. Or we can go as high as speed of 12 to have a piloting modifier of -1.
I don't think we should dip into negatives just yet.
Let me give them a quick the quick step 5 description thing
Okay.
before we scroll down into the to the thrusters, the
Oh, yeah.
actual
Running ahead.
comparison.
My bad.
It's okay. Okay, so step 5 will be selecting thrusters. Starship without a means of propulsion is nothing more than a floating target or an inert hunk of metal on a planet's surface. So spending build points on the Starship's thrusters should be your next priority. On page 296, which is where we were, head right back there, thrusters are listed by Starship size and speed in hexes. So the Starship combat you do is on a hex grid rather than a square grid like normal combat. Okay, so now we'll join you guys back down on 296.
So my thought is this would be based on crew, because if we have, for example, an ace pilot who will be taking care of this for us, then we could go into the higher levels, even take that negative modifier, and just trust that our pilot is more than capable. But if we just have kind of a run-of-the-mill, like we don't have a crack shot pilot, we just have a guy who pilots the ship, then we might need to go a little higher and maybe take that +1, or at the bare minimum have a +0.
I was actually going to suggest that taking the M6 thrusters with the +1
Yeah, I'd
Because-
be alright with that.
because of the fact that we have to keep in mind about the PCU as well.
Yeah, and this would cost 50 out of our 200.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go M6 for now.
Okay. So, rebuild point.
Okay, do you
Alright.
mean the T6?
No,
No, the
there's an
M6.
M6.
Oh wow, there's a whole nother separate part of the. Okay, yeah. So the thruster chart starts up here. We scroll down. Yeah, that wasn't on 296. That was on 297. Okay, so the M6, so 3 build points.
Yep.
You're gonna get the +1 to the piloting modifier and the 6 movement speed.
Yep.
Okay. So Dom, where we at? We're at 59. Is it 59 build points left?
We're at 60.
60. Okay, I thought we were at 62, not 63. Okay, so we're down at you're right, because the 2 earlier. Okay, so we're down to 60 build points left. So okay, so you're gonna go with the M6 thrusters with a okay movement speed, but a nice bonus to the the piloting modifier in case your pilot's not quite up to snuff. Let's go back up to our steps. Oh, there it was. Okay, so we've done the power core, we've done the frame, we've done the thrusters. All right, so now we're at step 6. Select other systems. Next, spend your remaining build points on all the other systems you wish to have on your starship. To be effective in combat, a starship needs armor, defensive countermeasures, shields, and weapons. If you wish to travel to locations outside of your home star system, it also needs a drift engine. Other more optional purchases include upgrades to the starship's computers, expansion bays, security, and sensors. So this is going to be our flare. Let's start hashing out our flare. Okay, so other systems. Where do you guys want to start?
At the beginning, armor.
Yeah, we can keep going in order.
Okay, so armor. We're going to go over here, and we have lots of plethoras on armor. MK1 to MK15 down there. And so what were you guys thinking as far as what you'd like for armor?
Well, since the cost in build points is quite egregious, or can get quite egregious, and the special column after MK4 is giving you a negative to target lock, which is absolutely horrible. I would say go with the MK4.
I was thinking maybe just the 3. If we go 4, our size category is a 3, so that's going to cost 15 build points. If we go 3, it's only going to cost 9.
And I guess it is only one AC. Yes.
Yeah, so, okay. Our AC right now is 10 across the board, because our size modifier is 0. So we'll get pilot ranks, and then an armor bonus. So right now, we would have a 13 if we went with the Mark III, and then plus whatever our pilot's ranks are. Which, I don't know if that's good or not, because I don't really know how Starship combat, like what the initial damage rolls, or attack rolls would be.
The attack rolls work kind of like they do in 5e.
Yeah, I think let's go Mark III for now, and then when we get to the end, if we have 6 extra, spare points, we can drop them into the Mark IV.
Okay. So that's -9.
Okay, so we're going to go with the Mark III armor, and we will be at 51. 51 build points left.
Now we go to computers.
Now computers. Yes. Gotta get that i7.
You want to give them the blurb, Kyle?
Yeah, I can read over the computer section because it's a little more not straightforward. But the computer system functions. Oh yeah. Well, it's not. We don't really have a step blurb anymore until step 7. But the computer section here is a computer system functions in many ways as a starship's brain. Most computers aboard starships have at least a rudimentary artificial personality, and while they can't fully perform the duties of a crew member, they can assist crew members in various tasks. However, many spacefarers claim that over time a starship's computer can develop temperaments and personality quirks that set them apart from identical computers in other ships. A starship has a basic computer of a tier equal to half the starship's tier, minimum of 1. See the computer skill on page 137 and computers on page 213 for more information about how a starship computer can be hacked or upgraded. Which upgrades a crew can purchase for its starship computer is determined by the GM. Some upgrades can be purchased with build points. Oh, see page 294. Okay, so I guess I'll finish that out. While a starship's computer is responsible for operating and managing a wide variety of starship systems at any given point in time, only a starship with an integrated control module, an ICM, can aid the crew in starship combat. The basic computer listed on the table below is the only option that lacks an ICM. In general, an ICM adds a flat circumstance bonus to one or more starship combat checks, decided just before the check is attempted. An ICM has a number of nodes. Each node grants its bonus to one starship combat check per round. Multiple nodes allow an ICM to influence multiple starship combat checks in a round, but they do not allow a computer to add multiple bonuses to the same starship combat check. So the cost of an ICM for the starship's computer is equal to the bonus it grants squared, multiplied by its number of nodes. ICMs can be purchased only with build points, not with credits. Holy moly. So, where do we want to start when we're looking at our which computer we want to go with? Obviously, the basic one is the only one without an ICM.
Well, the cool thing about the ICM is during Starship combat, during the phases, it actually adds to people's roles. So, what you read earlier, yeah, and I'm just reiterating what you read earlier. And where you see under the bonus column how it goes +1 / +1, so on and so forth, that's how many rolls it can do per turn in said combat. So the question that has to be asked before we decide which computer we want in the ship is, what kind of bonus are we wanting? Like, what are we so dead set on just being able to get the fuck away? Do we only need the one bonus? Because if we only need one bonus, we can go with the MK3 mononode.
Now you can, for the ones that have multiple, you can add them to any combat check. You don't have to go in order, like first check gets a +1, second check gets a +1, and then the others get nothing, right? You can add them to any one throughout the round.
That's what I understand out of what Kyle just read, yes.
I believe so, because the first check in each round will always be an engineering check. Isn't that correct? They do theirs first?
Yes.
Both sides do. I think their engineering checks are done simultaneously. So, unless you're... which it doesn't annotate that engineering would be, always get that single bonus if you pick a single bonus node. So, yeah. So, what do you think?
Okay, yeah, I'd like to... We can't like put all our eggs in the running away basket just in case we are forced to stand and fight, or if something happens that we can't leave. So I'd go for at least a +2 / +2, and then maybe bump it up a little higher if we again, this would be dependent on crew capability.
Okay. So we could go with the MK2 Duo node, which is 8 points, and if we have a spare 8 points, we can bump it up to the Tetra node.
Yeah, we could do that.
With the Duo node, we can use it for piloting and gunnery, which would allow us to defend ourselves.
Yeah, I think that extra +2 could come in handy.
So that is 8 points.
Okay. Okay, so what are we at now as far as build points?
43.
Last one dropped us down to...
And we're up to 65 out of our 200 for the power core.
Yep.
Okay. So 63 points out of our 200 for the power core, and you said 43 for build points, right?
65 out of our 200.
Oh, 65. Yeah, you're right. Math. Good times.
And then we're 43 build points.
Okay. Okay, so we have 43 build points, 65 PCU.
Kyle, are you plugging all of this into the the sheet, the Starship sheet?
Oh, absolutely not. This is
Okay, because I'm trying to do that just to get a feel for how the sheet itself works,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure where all of the like bonuses are supposed to go.
Yeah, when we do ours for our campaign, or if we do one for a one shot, whatever, I'll pull a sheet up and we'll do it. We'll plug it in then. But as far as this, we can just come back and watch this if we decide to use these stats and plug it into a sheet then. So
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I'm not gonna try to juggle between the PDF and then the sheet. I would be all jacked up. Okay, so 43 build points, 65 PC left. Okay, so what is next? So we boom. Okay, armor computer. Let's take a look at the crew quarters. Common crew quarters, good crew quarters, luxurious crew quarters. So, what do we want to? What do we look as far as crew quarters? How do we want our people to live?
I want at least good.
Luxurious, fuck it.
You want to go all the way up? Get us
why
our
not?
own rooms?
Yep.
Okay. So you guys want to go with luxurious crew quarters. So luxurious crew quarters are the pinnacle of comfort. They consist of private rooms for each crew member with personal bathrooms, including showers with high water pressure, and furnishings that match the residents' taste. Some luxurious crew quarters also feature a kitchenette, gaming areas, or intimate meeting spaces. So, we're going all the way, luxurious crew quarters, 5 build points. And that will put us...
Yeah, this ship is going to be our home for the most part. Like, out scouting the galaxy, doing jobs. We want it to be the best.
Okay. 5 BP, that'll bring us down to 38. 38 build points left. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The next will be defensive countermeasures. So, tracking systems and all that jazz for defensive countermeasures. I really wish when they did the computer system, they don't put anything above the bonuses. It doesn't really like give you a whole lot to go by if you're confused just looking at the chart. Luckily, the defensive countermeasures are a little more simple. So let's take a look at those. So it's MK1 to MK15, and this. What are you guys thinking of starting at as far as what you would like for a defensive countermeasure?
Okay, so this system is not armor. This is to block other ships from being able to lock onto us.
Target
Yes.
lock. Yeah.
Okay.
So
As far as starting, I was gonna say let's go ahead and start with the MK5. We're at 38 points. Just knock it down to the square 30.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. +5 bonus is solid. Very minimal power requirement.
Yep.
okay.
Actually, the power requirements stay pretty minimal until you get to MK12 or 11.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they just start going up exponentially at that point. Like, oh yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, 5, 7, 13. Yeah, it goes up pretty quick.
Yeah, I like a +5. I'm good with that.
Okay. Okay, that'll give you a +5 to your target lock. It only costs 4 PCU and 8 BP. So, with an MK5 defenses, our PCU will go down to 61, and our BP, our building points, will go down to 30. So 30 build points, and I say 61. Yeah, 61.
You're counting backwards. We have 200 PCU. It doesn't go. We're spent 65. This will take us up to 69.
Oh, okay. I didn't know okay. When you said that earlier, I thought we had 65 left. Okay.
No, this is a really solid power core, it seems, or at least maybe just depending on how we're building it, because we have a lot of room left to play with.
Okay. So how much? Okay, so we're at 69 out of our 200, right?
Correct.
Okay. So
And see,
we're at-
this is the next part is drift engines, which is where we kind of get screwed as far as PCU goes.
Ooh, yeah. Okay,
Minimum
so
for a basic drift engine is 75.
Okay, so I'll go over this quickly because it's a small section, and this, guys, it's not even really necessary depending on what campaign you want to run. Drift engines are what let you use a thing in Starfinder called the drift to jump from like system to system, and drift engines let you travel to and from the drift, and the better the engine rating, the faster you can reach distant destinations. Drift engines have a PCU requirement and a maximum frame size. The cost in build points is based on the starship's size category. And let's see here. For a starship to engage its drift engines to either enter or exit the drift, it must remain stationary with its conventional thrusters turned off for 1 minute. So this isn't just a boom, drop, go to drift, roll. You have to preemptively shut your thrusters and engines and shit down to do drift. So do we want to go with the assumption that we would at least need to use the drift?
I don't think we should assume that.
Okay.
I was gonna say we should. Because for mercenaries, there's only so many jobs in the Star
It depends
System.
on how large is the, like, is this the map, the full map in the back of the book of the, what is it, 9 planets in the station?
That's just one system.
Right, but we can travel in and around that one system with no problem without a drift engine. Correct?
Correct, but it would take days upon days to get from one place to another when you use a drift.
Yeah, but I mean that's fine. We have luxurious crew quarters.
That's fine. Yes, with intimate areas. I think we should.
Honestly, I would lean towards foregoing the drift for now and just making sure the rest of our ship is top notch and capable for inter-system work. And then as we move forward, we can, increase to be able to expand our reach. Because we still have weapons, we still have expansion bays, we still have like sensors that we haven't purchased anything yet.
That's very true. That's fine. If that's.
I mean, the basic drift engine would only cost 6 build points, so that's not excessive.
Correct. It's not. PCU is what it hammers at. But yeah, you're right. It's not excessive.
Yeah. Okay, so no drift engine.
Yeah, so we'll skip the drift engine for right now. This is only going to be for a one shot anyway. So interstellar travel was not necessarily going to be necessary.
I'm trying to look at it less from a game perspective and more from the character perspective of it, not as in like, well, we're only going to use this ship one time, but as in, let's make this ship the best it can be in this area, and then depending on, we might have 6 points left over at the end, and we can just grab it really quickly. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll come back to it if need be. Yeah, I was just seeing it more along the lines of if you're adventurers that hey, we have access to something that can get us from East Coast to West Coast. Like a plane in a few hours, or we can do a road trip, which will take several days.
That's true. We could probably get more work with.
So if you're going off efficiency and also capability, so what if someone says, "Hey, I need this to go from here to here"? You're like, yeah, sure, I'll get it there in a week or two. Well, I need
that would be another crew question. Are we local boys, or are we trying to expand our clientele?
Yeah, without knowing the campaign specifically, let's just leave it out for now, and we'll play with everything else and we'll see what happens. So let's.
Well, see, I was also thinking like this: these characters are said to be like level 3, okay, which means they haven't been doing this for very long. And what are the odds that they're going to want to jump systems into a place that they might not know much about?
That's a great point.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, we are only level 3, so you're right. That's a good thing to consider. So we'll stay the local boys. We'll chill in our system for right now. So there's plenty to be had there. Let's see in the Pact Worlds. Okay, next is expansion bays, and no charts here. Most starships have room within their hull for one or more expansion bays, each of which can be converted to function in a wide variety of roles. I'm not going to go through this whole entire thing, but let's see. Let's scroll down. Oh my. So out of the remaining, there we go. Here's the chart. Out of the remaining expansion bay options, are you guys considering any of these? Down on
I think medical bay probably.
page 300.
Oh, that's expensive though in build points. Smuggler compartments. Those are pretty cheap and useful. Synthesis bay. Good for creating drugs, medicines. That's pretty cheap.
How much was our power core as far as build points?
20.
Because we could also get a power core housing.
Yeah, we could get a second power core if we. But right now we're not even coming close to hitting our maximum.
I'm just saying, if we end up getting that drift engine.
Well, we have 4 expansion bays. So let's say that we have the standard, stereotypical crew complement. We could get 1 tech workshop for the tech guy, 1 synthesis bay for whoever wants to, craft our own medicine and drugs and that kind of thing. And hopefully that could replace a medical bay as far as at least getting some sort of, not necessarily healing. Like healing type stuff, but not the healing potions. We could do an arcane laboratory for that, though. Again, this is going to be dependent on the crew complement.
Yeah.
I think for sure, where is it? Smuggler compartment. 1 smuggler compartment.
Okay.
Just so that we can hide things when necessary. We can move stuff for people that don't want it to be seen, that kind of thing.
Okay.
This is my opinion. Okay. Cargo hold, recreation suite, smuggler compartment, and lifeboats.
What do you want a recreation suite for?
We're gonna be living here.
Yeah, but we already got the luxurious crew quarters.
Okay, so what? You're gonna sleep the entire time?
Also, the lifeboat can only carry 2 medium or smaller creatures, so 2 of us are going to have to go down with the ship.
No, because a single expansion bay can be used 2 lifeboats.
Oh, okay.
So there's 4 of us right there.
That's much better then. Okay, so let's see. Let me read. Smuggler compartment, definitely. We're agreed on that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a.
And I do like the cargo hold as well. I think that's a no-brainer for a ship like ours.
Let's take a look at the smuggler compartment. So the smuggler compartment are cargo holds hidden behind false bulkheads and are shielded from most scanning, allowing a starship equipped with them to haul illegal goods without detection. A smuggler compartment can contain 10 tons of goods, with no item being larger than medium. A creature on the starship must succeed a DC 20 perception check to detect a basic smuggler compartment on the starship. Creatures scanning the starship must succeed a DC 20 computers check to detect one. This additional check is part of the science officer scan action in starship combat. See page 325. For each build points.
Would they have to choose to scan or look for a compartment, or if they do that scan as part of the combat, would they automatically get, oh hey, he's got smuggler compartments here, here, and here?
I would think they would have to do the scan. I don't think that you can just get with one scan get everything. It's
because DC 20 in this game is not a lot.
No. So, but it says for each build point spent over the base cost, these DCs increase by 5. Maximum DC of 50. Though the amount of power the compartment uses also increases by 1. So your DC will increase
Okay, so the base cost is 2,
Mm-hmm.
and the power compartment is 4.
So
So if we bump it up to cost 3, then it would be a DC of 25.
correct. That's a
What do you
great.
think, Don?
That's a great counter. Like a great addition.
I think D25 is acceptable.
Okay.
Taking it from game mechanics position, not the character's position. 25 is better than most, and it's not the easiest thing to get at level 3.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. So
fine.
it'll cost 3, and it'll take 5 power instead of the 4.
That's why I'm only going to throw level 8 guys at you. Just to make sure. Okay, so we're going to bump up the build points to 4, you said?
3.
3? Okay. So we're going to bump up the build points to 3. What puts that? What's our running tally of... I forgot to write that down. What's our running tally of build points right now? I know our...
After the -3, we're at 27.
Okay, so it's... Yeah, that's right. We were at 30 even. So 27 build points left. We are now at 73 PCU. Is that correct?
74.
But it doesn't bump up the PCU, though.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I thought it only bumped up the build points.
No, at the end on the next page, it says the amount of power the compartment uses also increases by 1.
Oh, okay. I thought there was the build points increased by 1. Okay.
It's both,
Okay, gotcha.
which is fair. Yeah, that's an easy point to spend.
Yeah, yeah, and it seems if that's what you're going for, it seems worthwhile to dump some points into it. Because if you're going to hide shit, you might as well make it a DC high enough to be worth hiding.
And
Okay.
actually, after that, I think we should just go with the lifeboats and then have 2 cargo holds, which
So we could haul 50 tons of goods in the cargo holds and an additional 10 in our secret smuggling compartments.
yes, like hookers and beer.
50 tons of hookers, huh? Wow.
No, the hookers are in the smuggling compartment. Just like 10 tons of hookers.
See, I was thinking at least one sort of laboratory, but we don't know what our crew is going to be, so we can't really... Because we could do a science lab, synthesis bay, tech workshop, or an arcane lab, all of which would provide significant bonuses to crafting items of that type.
Let's go with the tech workshop then.
Yeah,
We'll
just
have one
picture...
cargo hold, so we can only hold 25 tons of hookers.
Oh,
Well, still 35 in the secret compartment.
Yeah.
man. I
But
think
you can't
25.
split one hooker between 2 places.
You can if it's 25
Not
tons of them.
Yet. We have the science.
Okay, so all right, yeah. So I guess we're veering towards a smuggler mission, and it would be advantageous to have all the cargo space. And you're saying a tech workshop?
Lifeboats and tech workshop. Is that what we decided on?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So are there any?
I'm okay with that.
Are there any additional upgrades to tech workshop or lifeboats where you can add more, like you did in the smuggler hold?
Not in the tech workshop, and I don't think in the lifeboats either.
The PDF is not.
No, it just says that a single bay can be used for 2 lifeboats, so we can get all 4 of us off of the ship if necessary.
By the by, Thomas, why I wanted lifeboats rather than escape pods. The escape pods give you more, like you can get more people out, but they only give you supplies for 7 days. Supplies to survive for 7 days, and life support for 7. The lifeboats give you supplies for 15 days for the both passengers, or 30 days for one passenger. Of medium size or smaller.
Yeah, I have no complaints about that. I'm fine with that.
I'm just thinking the lifeboats are altogether better.
Okay. So, our smuggler compartment, we're spending... We already did that tally, didn't we? So 3.
And I already taken off the tech workshop and the tech workshop compartment and the life. So BP total is 24 at the moment.
Okay. 24 BP left, and what do we add for PCU?
82.
Because you're counting up, not down, right?
Yeah, we're
Correct.
counting up.
So
Okay.
yeah, 200 minus 82 is what we have left.
Okay, gotcha. So
Okay.
we're not-
118, I believe.
wow, okay. Yeah, these expansion bays didn't hit the PCU as hard as I thought they were going to.
I mean, it could have. We got a hangar bay.
Yeah, if we get a bigger ship, then I would definitely lean towards getting a hangar bay or at least a shuttle bay. But right now our ship's not big enough for that.
Yeah.
Because the hangar bay hits the PCU for 30.
Yeah.
And the shuttle bay hits 10, so. Alright, well, next category is security, which
Yes.
helps it against intrusions, both cyber and.
Yes.
We can get
How many build points do we have left?
24. That saddens me. I'm not gonna be able to get the self-destruct system.
Gotta love
The big red button.
Yeah, gotta love the big red button.
I mean, we could. It would only cost 15.
I mean, yeah, but there's more stuff we have to buy.
Yeah, we need sensors still.
weapons.
We need weapons. We need shields.
Lots of stuff to get. Okay, so what are we looking as far as security? Anti-hacking systems, anti-personnel weapon.
I would say at least biometric locks. At the very least.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Maybe anti-hacking systems, but that is up to you. I don't care.
Well, biometric locks. If you think about the size of your ship, that's not a whole lot of doors, other than crew quarters.
Medium ship, dude, is actually quite large.
If it only houses 6 people, it ain't that large.
A medium ship length is 120 to 300 feet, and it weighs 40 to 100 tons.
Yeah, but I'm
It's
talking.
a fairly large ship.
If you're comparing it to a person, yeah. If you're comparing it to other ships, I mean, it's no Enterprise, man. You know, and biometric locks. How many are you gonna have? How many doors
I
are
mean,
gonna be
that
biometric?
is true
scanners?
too. I mean,
What are you gonna have? 10, 20 at most. And if they blow a hole in the side, you don't get any use out of them.
that's true. So why don't we go with the anti-hacking systems and call it a day?
The anti-hacking systems, like in character, sure, these both sound really good, but out from game mechanics, anti-hacking systems only increase the DC by 1. We can buy it multiple times, but if we're just getting this first upgrade, what's the DC to hack into our ship right now?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
It would go up by 1. I mean,
Ooh.
that's not a lot.
Yeah, unless you're willing to
For
dump
3
some
points,
BP
we
into
only have
it.
2 points left,
Unless you want to get it 4 times,
which would cost 12 points.
which is half of what we have left. I said we put a pin in the security systems, and we'll come back to it.
Let's check really quick. Well, on page 139, that's where it says the hack into a starship DC is.
Good, take a look at that. I'm gonna kind of float around here. While you're taking a look at that, I'm gonna look up at biometric locks. Let's see what that would offer you. So if you get biometric locks for your security, the systems of a starship with biometric locks can only be used by certain creatures, designated when the locks are installed. This list can be updated by any creature who can gain access to the ship's computer systems. A successful computers check, DC 20 plus 1.5 times the tier of the starship, can bypass these locks. So even with the biometric locks, and it looks in the chart as though that's a solid 5 BP drop, but they can still hack that too. So, to the average Joe, yeah, biometric locks is great, especially if you have a bigger ship where they have to go through layer upon layer of them. But I don't know I don't know how you guys feel about it. But the anti-hacking system, if you're adding 4 to your DC, that's pretty good. If you're adding only 1, Thomas is right, it's probably not that effective. What do you got on the anti-hacking?
It's not. It seems more complicated than I thought it would be.
The base DC of the tasks, many of the tasks of the computer skills is equal to 13 plus 4 times the computer's tier. These DCs may be adjusted by the GM to reflect others. So, what was our computer again?
MK
Mark II, the Mark II Duo node.
So then our DC would be what? 20, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 13 is, I can't math right
21.
now. 21? Yeah, so our DC is 21. Is in your professional opinion, Thomas, is that high enough?
I mean, even if it's not, we would only be increasing it to 22, which is not
Good.
ideal.
Yeah, it's really not offering enough benefit to be worth the BP.
Alright, well then I say we put a pin in it. Back
Yeah, I agree. This would be another point where, as a crew, we could decide, like, hey, one person should stay with the ship, maybe the tech guy, just to watch over everything, or, depending on what the mission requirements were, obviously.
Well, meta-wise, if you guys have a 5-man crew and all 5 are PCs, I don't know if one person's going to want to stay with the ship every time.
That is true. Alright, we'll still put a pin in it.
Okay. Yeah, at the very least, maybe save 5 points for biometric locks. At the least.
Now we get to sensors.
Yeah, sensors.
Range for sensors goes short range is 5 hexes. Short range is 5 hexes. Where's medium? Medium is, I want to say 10.
Yeah, medium is 10 and long is 20.
These are the eyes and ears of the ship.
Okay, so do you want to get a simple, a budget long range, which doesn't give you anything to your scan, but it only costs 10 BP? Or do you want to go with something cheaper?
Well, I was thinking minimum medium range.
Okay. So you want to go budget medium range?
Well, what skills are being tested?
The sensors can use computers. I believe it's computers, life sciences, and physical science.
Oh, let's take a look.
Can
take a look here.
anybody make a sensors check, or is it only like the science officer or engineer?
Let's take a look here. So I'll scroll down to that. Okay, so there we go. Sensors operate in 2 modes, passive or active. In passive mode, sensors automatically scan the ship's surroundings. Passive sensors detect visible or unhidden objects in a 360-degree field around the ship at a range of up to twice the sensor's range category. While in space or in the drift, through local conditions, may affect their range. However,
This is the science officer is the one that does the scanning.
However, gravitational forces and atmospheric conditions limit Starship sensors to a range of 250 feet on most planets, and their range might be further limited by the terrain and the GM's discretion. So
Active sensors are far more discerning, and they are required if a science officer wishes to scan an enemy vessel and learn details about them during combat.
okay.
Modifiers listed in the table below. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So you got your normal passive ones, no biggie. But the active wise, you're looking at how effective it's going to be when you're scanning for shit actively.
Okay, so the passive ones, right now, if we go with medium range, it'll go out 10 hexes. And the passive ones, it says, go up to twice the range category while in space or in the drift, no skill check required. So passively, we'll detect shit up to 20 hexes away just automatically. And then in combat, we can go out to 10 with no penalty, and then we can bump it up if we need to with a -2 for each range increment beyond that first 10. So that's pretty good. If we take the basic medium range and get the +2 modifier, we would be able to scan in combat out to, 15 hexes away with no negative?
Well, the range increment is okay. So medium has a range of 10, right?
Yes.
First range increment would be the next 10. Or the first range increment would be 10. The second one would be 20. The second you go past that 10 hexes, you get the -4. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's a -2 for each range increment beyond. So if the range increment is the range increment in 5s or in 10s?
Hold on one second.
Short sensors are 5. So
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The range increment is in 5s. So we can go 10 with a +2 modifier if we take the basic medium range. We could go out to 15 with a 0 modifier because it would be a -2 with stacked against our +2. And then we could go further out to 5 times the sensor's range with additional negatives.
Yep.
Which 5 times the sensor's range would put it out to 50 hexes away, but -2 for every additional 5.
Yeah, which would be 0, and then 4 times 2. So 8 minus 8 modifier.
Well, see, okay, it doesn't. The range increments aren't in 5s. The range increments are in whatever the range sensor is. The example given is a short range sensor with a range of 5 hexes is used against the target 12 hexes away. So you have the first range increment, which is 5 hexes. Second range increment takes it to 10, and then once they breach 10, it counts as a third range increment, which is the 12. So that's why you have the -4 penalty.
But
Okay, right.
it kind of looks like the first range is 5, which no penalty there. The second range
The
brings
second range increment and the third one give it -2, -2.
Yeah, but it still sounds like they're
So-
measuring in 5 hexes.
They are for the short range.
Yeah.
If we got the medium, it would be 10, 20, 30, so on and so forth, that way.
Okay, 10 per rather than 5 per after the 10.
Yes,
Okay, gotcha.
because it's range increments.
It says back on the one page prior, in Starship Combat, short range sensors have a range of 5, medium range sensors have a range of 10 hexes. So based on that,
That's what I'm saying.
go by 10s.
Okay.
And then the long would go by 20s, which would be egregious and not really needed.
Yeah, I think a basic medium range give us that initial +2, and then if we need to go further, we can. It would be lessening the negative.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice cancel out. Get you on even if you need to extend.
The basic medium,
That's what I would lean towards.
Okay.
-5 blood points.
So we at 19?
18.
18? Okay. Well, I can't believe it doesn't cost any PCU.
Neither can I. That's actually kind of weird.
Okay. Well,
Weapons.
Let's go to weapons. So let's go to weapons. Starship weapons. Hooray! So you have direct fire weapons and tracking weapons.
I want a chain cannon.
Chain cannon. Yeah, we'll just pop that shit on there.
Cost 15 BP.
Okay. The only things left are weapons and shields. So, how much build points do we have left?
18.
Okay. So we need to consider that we still have both of those things left, but
And no security
shields
system.
don't look all that expensive. And we have massive amounts of power left, so we don't need to worry about that at all.
Unless you go for the grazer. Yeah.
What?
Even if we did, we'd still have enough.
The grazer. The 40 PCU, 35 BP, which you don't have enough for anyway. But no, grazer.
That irradiates your enemies?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, now, can any of these weapons be outfitted in any weapon port?
Yes.
Or rather, on any
Well,
weapon mount?
Next to the weapon mount, it tells you if it's a light mount, medium mount, whatever, so on and so forth.
that's
light,
right.
heavy, or capital.
Okay, I'm gonna scroll back up to our ship and
I
remind
believe
us
they're all
what we
light.
have.
Yeah, good check out.
We have one forward, one port, one starboard, and one turret. So we have no aft weapons. We have
Well, the
one
turret.
forward,
There's not really
one on
any
the sides, and a turret.
Yeah, but they're all light, right?
Yes, they're all light.
Okay. So looking on the light chart. 3 slots. Actually 4, no. 4 with the turret.
Okay.
Do you wanna go for a turret first, so we can get something that can swivel around?
Well, my suggestion for the turret was going to be either an EMP cannon. Yes, I said EMP.
I wasn't gonna
Suck
mention
it.
it.
You can suck it. Or we could get something that does tracking for the turret. Now, granted, the special properties for the tracking, the limited fire of 5, that's how many times you can fire it before you actually have to purchase more ammunition for it.
But okay, let's look at that very first one. High explosive missile launcher, long range, 12 speed when we fire.
12 hexes.
Right. 48 damage, minimal power requirement, minimal build point cost. That's pretty good.
Okay, now as far as the speed goes, by the by, speed is how far it fires, how far it travels in one round. Okay, so if you're firing at something that's, say, 36 hexes away, because you have sensors and you can extend them and all that bullshit, right? It would take the missile 3 rounds to get to the enemy, and each round you'd have to continue to make a tracking lock roll. Kind of against their AC, you know, but against their tracking lock.
Uh-huh.
In order for that missile to actually hit its target.
Right, but if we move in closer, that's an extremely powerful missile that's going to get there in one turn.
I mean, if you're gonna go spend the 4 BP for that, why don't you just go tactical nuclear missile launcher? The extra BP. I mean,
Oh, we don't have to buy more ammo. We can just only fire it 5 times in a combat, and then it requires 10 minutes outside of combat to recharge and rebuild the weapon's inherent ammunition.
oh, so our ships build the ammo.
That's what it says under this limited fire one.
That is weird as all fucking get out. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's fucking weird. I mean,
we might have to adjust that. I mean, you know, too many nukes laying around. Tactical.
alright. Well, anyway,
I like the high explosive missile launcher for the turret.
Again, why don't you just go with the extra build point and get the tactical nuke? Because irradiate is nice.
What does that do?
Irradiate. Radiate.
Radiates.
A weapon with this special property creates a wave of harmful radiation. It penetrates shields and starship hulls. Living creatures on a starship struck by an irradiating weapon are subject to levels of radiation noted in the parentheses for 1d4 rounds. So,
I don't know how I feel about launching nuclear weapons at opposing ships, but I don't have a character yet, so I don't know how my character would feel about that. He might be all about it.
radiation is a very real threat to adventurers, whether it's radiation emitted from stars or radiation generated by various technological wonders of the universe. Radiation is a poisoning effect, weakens an affected creature's constitution.
Cutting out, Dawn. Gotta
Sorry, I was reading. I
deep
was
throat
kind of
the.
hang up myself.
Okay.
Radiation levels.
Yeah, I don't know if smugglers would be too into nukes.
I mean,
like
smuggle nukes,
Okay.
can't you?
Our medium-sized ship right now has 55 HP. 4d8 is still very good against 55 HP. A couple of hits with that, and we'd be sitting pretty.
Well, yeah, that's depending on their shield, how well they use their shields.
Well, that's okay. Once we beat armor class, how does the shield reduce the damage, and how does that stuff work?
Once you beat the AC, the shield literally eats part of the damage, and your hull doesn't actually get damaged until the shields are gone on that particular side of the ship.
Okay, so if we have 50 shield points, and an attack does 30 damage, we would drop down to 20, and our hull wouldn't take any hits at all.
More or less.
If all the 50 shield points are on the side that actually took the hit, you can have them dispersed on any of the four sides.
And
So-
you can't have
that's
less
right.
than 10% on anyone.
Yeah, so
I forgot about that.
there is distribution involved as well, which is part of the science officers.
Do you want to buy the shields before we buy the weapons? Just get this up and running, and then spend whatever we have left on weapons?
I mean, that's fine.
I just feel like shields are a little bit more important.
Pardon me. Honestly, I was just gonna say we have however many fucking BP we have left. We have 18 left, which we could buy the light shields. Light shield 70 gives us 20 shield points with a PCU cost of 25, 10, and then we could spend the other 8 BP on weapons. Because, I mean, we're level 3, it's a medium-sized ship. Probably most of our weapons are going to be light laser cannon.
Okay, so 10% of 70 is 7, correct?
Yes.
So each section of shields would have 7 automatically, which is 28 total. So we would have an extra, 42 shield points to distribute at every round, however we see fit.
I think it's going to
Is
depend
that
on.
right?
I think it's going to depend on how well the science officer rolls.
Well, yes, but that's the idea would be that we have this available to us.
Yes.
Correct at the start of.
Okay,
That
I
would
like
be correct.
Yeah, I like that. Light
Okay,
shield 70
so-
works for me.
We have 8 points.
Yep.
8 BP left
Okay.
by weapons.
So yeah. So you went with the light shield 70.
Yep.
This PDF is horrible. And okay, yep, 25 PC. Sorry, you guys are still very, very easily under your PC limit, and your 10 cost now down to 8 build points left. We're going to go back up to weapons. Remember, you don't have any security systems as well. Just to throw that out there. Okay, so light weapons. What are we
Like I said,
What's left?
8. We could put words are hard.
remember
We could put all 4 of them
every
lightly as you can.
remember every weapon can shoot. So it's kind of a trade-off. You can get more less powerful weapons, but if you miss with one, you still have a chance to hit with more weapons.
Ooh,
Just not
here's
as hard.
a thought.
Can we get a high explosive missile launcher? Is that a light weapon, or does it have to say light in front of it like the light plasma torpedo launcher does?
No. See the top of the table where it says light weapons?
Oh, yes, okay.
So all of those are light weapons. I'm actually making gestures with my hands like you fucks can see them. Anyway, what I was thinking, and Thomas, bear with me on this, okay? Just like run with me on this, okay?
Go ahead.
What I was thinking is we use our ship's maneuverability so that we don't need the left and right guns. I forgot the actual terms for that. Left and right.
Port and starboard.
Because we have one on the front, we have one on the left and one on the right, and we have a turret either on top or underneath, okay? It has a 360-degree fire arc.
Correct.
Okay, so what I was thinking was we split that 8 points into two 4s. Okay, we have four BP cost weapons, one in front, one on the turret, and we use the fuck out of the maneuverability to make sure that the front firing arc, which is one of the largest firing arcs, or no, front is smaller. We make sure that stays at the enemy. You see what I'm getting at?
I do see what you're getting at, and I like it.
So we could actually purchase 2 high explosive missile launchers or a light torpedo battery or launcher, and we could mount those.
Okay. I like this. I think a high explosive missile launcher in the turret and a light torpedo launcher in the forward weapons mount.
Because the light torpedo does not have a limited fire.
Exactly why.
So.
It also is faster and has the same long range, but it can travel farther per round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Okay. So you don't plan on running away. That's the thing.
Oh no, we've got thrusters that allow us to, get out if we need to, fairly decently for a level 3 ship. Okay.
But if you're getting out, you're not going to be able to... Oh, wait, you do have the turret. You can, as long as you don't shoot less than 5 times.
We can leave while assaulting them from behind with the turret.
Yeah, you can still shoot. As long as you haven't shot 5 times, you can still keep... I was thinking you were completely blind from the back, but I forgot about the turret.
Yeah, I like this. This is good.
Now, here's a question for you. Though the high explosive missile launcher is better in almost every way, it is limited. So in that scenario where you're smuggling, you have something, you're getting it from point A to point B, and you are being chased. Think that if you have your high explosive missile launcher on your turret, you can only fire that 5 times. So as you're fleeing, you've only got 5 shots. Whereas if you put it on the front, when you're assaulting, you have 5 shots. And your light torpedo launcher, you have infinite shots while you're fleeing. Just a thought.
I would rather have the more powerful gun have the unlimited 360-degree range. Because if we're running, I would rather be able to shoot backwards with the high explosive, which can do 4d8, as opposed to the light torpedo, which can only do 2d8.
Yeah, but if you fought them for 4 rounds and you decide, all right, we're taking too much damage, we got to get out of here, you only have 1 shot.
If we fought them for 4 rounds and are trying to run and they're still thoroughly beating us, we're not going to win anyway.
No, but I think
it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter how many additional.
I was just kind of doing math, right? even if our high explosive missile launcher only did half damage for five shots, half damage is still 60 damage. As long as we can either, and by the way, uh, this is of course after we've decided to run. So I'm imagining, in my head, hey, we tried to dogfight it out. A little bit of shield damage on both sides. I mean, that ship has to have a lot of hull points in order to survive that 60 additional points of damage. Or 80 additional points of damage.
Yeah, I like the turret being the high explosive, and the light torpedoes being in the front.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to just...
Even if it did minimal damage, that's still 20 points of damage over 5 turns.
Okay. Didn't want to discourage, just want to throw the option out there, depending on what you guys' objectives or priorities are. Yeah, I would rather have the high explosives on the turret too. I just was running a scenario in my head that you're flying helpless if you run out. But you're right. I mean, if you ran the numbers and with 70 shield points and whatever hull points or whatever for a size ship that you guys would probably run into, yeah. If you can do discouraging amounts of damage up front, then yeah, you don't need to have that infinite ship.
And to be fair, we are firing every turn. If we're just dogfighting with somebody, we are firing with every turn with 6d8 damage for 5 turns, and then 2d8s every turn after that. After the first 1 or 2 turns, that ship's probably not going to want to fight anymore.
Yeah, as long as...
Yeah, honestly, all of this is speculation until we actually do a combat and see how it all actually comes together, how all of the different crew options actually affect, the outcome. And it's going to depend in-game on how many crews are willing to fight to the death if we're doing severe damage to them.
You know what's kind of hilarious about this? We've effectively made this ship so that we only need a really good pilot and a really good gunner.
I think that's smart, honestly.
I don't know. Science officer moving shields around might prove...
I mean, that's fair, but he doesn't need to be really good, is my point.
I don't know.
To move the shields around, DC is not very high.
Yeah, we definitely need a good gunner and a pilot.
Okay, so we are out of build points.
Yes.
But we have only spent 122 out of our 200 power core. So do we want to maybe look at taking a less expensive power core, and then we'll have a couple extra build points?
Well, we could drop to full screen and get 5 points back.
Because that's a lot of extra power that we're not utilizing. Or
we can go to Pulse or Arcus Heavy, which is 13 build points out of instead of 20. It puts us at 130 PCU, which still gives 8 more, but it gives us 7 points for another weapon.
I think I would like Pulse Green better. Keep it at 150 power.
Okay, so
and get 5 extra points.
That's 5 extra points. Now, like I said, like I slipped it in saying my recommendation would be for another weapon, a different weapon on the front, maybe a heavier weapon. It's kind of a 6-1 half dozen the other type of scenario. But if we did that, we would have, if we took back the light torpedo launcher, we'd have 9 points to spend, which we could then spend on a light EMP cannon. That's cool.
Well, hold on. We could also look into upgrading the computer or getting one of those security systems.
That is true too. But the computer, the next step up was another 8 points, I thought.
We're at a Mark II Duo right now. +2/+2. We could
8 points was for the Tetra.
Yeah. If we
That's right.
if we spend 4 more points, then we would get an extra. We'd get a third node, and we would get an extra +2. So we would get 3 systems with a +2 instead of just 2 every round.
What does that do to the PCU?
Same amount of power cost.
Okay. And then we could use the extra 1 point we have left to increase the DC on the smuggler's compartment.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, I mean, it's the only thing that costs 1 that we actually purchased.
Yeah, upgrade that. DC by 5.
What? Hold on. What defensive measures did we pick up? Mark 5. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's a little bit more. That would cost 3.
Or we can use that extra, 1 point on switching out the high explosive missile launcher for them. It's an extra D8 of damage. That's all I'm saying.
Gotta be Holocaust in space. Just gotta.
I mean, yes.
Or we could pick up an anti-personnel weapon for our boarding ramp.
These are terrifying. But the only problem with that is, like, how much does that cost?
The item level of the weapon. So we would need to get a level 1 long arm just hanging out at our boarding ramp. I mean, it wouldn't be like good, but it would be a countermeasure to buy us a little time if someone's trying to board us.
Okay. How much for the heavy?
Heavy is 5 plus the item level.
Okay. That's up to you. I'm indifferent. The smuggler compartment thing would be really good because it does increase the DC of the smuggler compartment.
It would be really good, but I'm kind of chafing at not having any like shipboard defenses in you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fine. So we get like an azimuth laser rifle.
It wouldn't be anything like to stop people from boarding. It would just be to slow them down, maybe pin a couple of them down to give us more time to react.
Or discourage them altogether.
Exactly.
Oh look, he's got a gun pointed at my face. Well then.
So yeah, we'll take those 4 points off to go for the Mark II tri-node computer. Get that extra +2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last point, and that's the same power requirement. And then the last point, yeah, I think a long arm at our loading ramp.
Okay. Press to 0. Okay, so we've spent our build points. I think the onboard countermeasures. I think that's nice. You're right. Even if it just buys you time, it could still be worth the investment. Like your lives. Okay, so that's step 6. We went through each of the systems, and they picked out what particularly they wanted to spend their build points and PCU on. Okay, so finally, at step 7, add details.
Sorry, I was thinking to myself. Apparently, we could have upgraded our weapon mounts.
In what way?
Well, you can, by spending 4 build points, the crew can upgrade a light weapon mount in any of the aft, forward, port, or starboard arcs to a heavy weapon mount. By spending 6 build points, the crew can upgrade a light weapon mount on a turret to a heavy weapon mount. By spending...
But do you
by
still...
spending 5 build points, by spending an additional 5 build points, you can upgrade heavy weapon mount on any aft, forward, port, starboard arcs to a capital weapon mount.
But do you then still have to pay the build points to purchase, even after that, purchase the next mount?
Yeah, you'd have to pay to upgrade the mount from light to heavy, but then also pay to get, because the light weapons are much cheaper in build points than the heavy weapons are. So there's no way we would have enough to upgrade and then buy new weapons unless we started jettisoning other systems.
Yeah, because you still have to buy the weapon, even though you upgrade the mount.
Interesting.
I would
Honestly,
say.
I'm pretty happy with what we've come up with here.
No. That's I agree.
Solid TL countermeasures, decent AC. Once the pilot ranks get added in, that will be for third level characters. Let's just go out on a limb and say that our pilot has put 3 ranks into piloting. So that'll
Is
take our
dex based?
AC up to 16. It'll take our TL up to 18. And then any miscellaneous modifiers that would get added on for some reason or another. That's not terrible.
Yeah, seems pretty solid.
For a low level starting out ship, I think this is pretty good.
We're gonna test her out. We're definitely we'll throw in one of these one shots we're gonna do here, and we'll see how she holds up.
She needs a name, Don. What do you think?
Yeah, you guys put in the work, so you guys can name it now, and the rest of the party will just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair. They didn't build it.
That tickles me a little bit. Anyway,
Yeah, step 7's like adding the name, adding details like quirks, physical description, and so on, stuff like that.
The most difficult part of the building ship.
It really is.
The other parts are just numbers. Anyone can do numbers. Monkey with a calculator can do numbers.
Charlene,
Call it the Raza.
the most fierce vessel in all the galaxy.
I just finished binging through all of Dark Matter.
Did you?
Yeah,
And?
so good, so good.
Yeah, I finished it now. I'm waiting for the next season.
Oh, so sad.
You're right. We could call it the Raza. Why not? Pay tribute. Anyway,
It's not quite as good as the Raza,
the Raza is only good because of the android. That's just how it is.
which we do not have. Oh,
I mean,
we might.
might.
We might have an android.
Because Sal might play an android.
Old Sal.
Because so far in every in every little one shot that Sal's been in, he's been an android something or another.
Android. I'm surprised he hasn't been a Solarian in everyone. Android Paladin. Sounds like his.
Let's go with something simple like Linda, or just like a nice easy normal name like that.
Linda.
I was thinking of like famous sci-fi women. Oh, Linda Hamilton. Okay.
It is a ship, so it has to be female. As per tradition.
Yeah, that's a rule. Mm-hmm. You don't see any Daryls floating around in space, or the SS Chuck.
That'd be weird.
We could name it Dave.
yes. Starship Dave to dock. Starship Dave to dock. No, it's not sultry. It's not good. Not cool. So, any other ideas?
I actually take a phone call. I'll be right back.
Okay. Thomas. Could be a woman. Could be an animal. Could be something cool like a color, followed by a blue shock or red laser.
Black Betty.
Black Betty. Yeah, see. Nikki play that. Play the Black Betty song. You guys come into port.
Oh god, that would probably get annoying if we like visit the same port over and over and over again. Just every time
Yeah.
we come in blasting it out of our external speakers.
Oh, not these fucks again. Although, I mean, it fit like when Sweet Home Alabama, in Con Air when the plane's coming. You know, that
True.
fit. But you're right. Coming into port, playing the same song every time. Yeah.
All right. Well, he's on the phone. I'm going to take a quick break and think about what to name this vessel.
Ponder on the vessel. Yeah. So, I guess well, Thomas, before you take the break, do we want to leave this one hang and wrap up, and then allow the name to be revealed when we actually play this vessel in a one shot?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we could do that.
I was
I
thinking,
mean,
yeah.
we covered everything about building it, so
And
people
then
don't really need to stick around for another 20 minutes to hear us throw names back and forth.
yeah. There's really no technical gain in this. So, so everybody there. So yeah, we've gone through the steps of building a starship, and the name is obviously going to be different for everybody and every ship. So thanks for joining us, and hope you learned something. We learned stuff. Get some experience. You will see this ship eventually. We will have one shots coming up here soon, and then followed up by a Starfinder campaign. And stay tuned in for that. Everybody, have a good one, and thanks for joining us.